going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, it happened again. WNBA game last night, and for the third time in the last week or so, somebody threw a sex toy onto the basketball court. Obviously, Mojo, this is something that has gotten a lot of attention the first couple of times it happened, and a lot of people said, oh, well, this is going to happen again. And sure enough, Tuesday night in Los Angeles, as the Fever and the Sparks were playing a game, everything going swimmingly on the basketball court, and then this happened.
Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor. Got an object that just flew in as the free throw was being made. And it looked like that hit a player, too.
So there it was, Mojo. Obviously, it is a sex toy. We have blurred it, but I think everybody out there, if you're an adult, you know what we're talking about. You obviously have probably heard about this. You've probably seen this on social media now. It nearly hit, or it might have even hit, Sophie Cunningham. She has recently basically spoken out, Mojo, and she had originally said, stop throwing bleeps on the court. You're going to hurt one of us. And then she retweets herself last night, Mojo, and she said, this did not age well because, of course, she got hit by one of them. So, yeah, that's where we're at, Mojo. It's become a trend.
It is a trend indeed. What a trend it is, Babcock. Before I go into this, can I just admire that kick really quick?
This is a nice kick. Right.
That was a really impressive kick, actually, especially I'm assuming this is some sort of rubber material for this product device that we're discussing. Sliding across the court like that, that's a tremendous amount of friction on an object that is very close to the ground. So getting under it like that with your foot and getting some good distance with that kick is quite impressive. I'm going to go ahead and guess that athlete was a two-sport athlete.
Soccer player as well.
Was a soccer player at some point. I'm just going to say that. I know there's probably a lot of people disgusted by this, upset by this, offended by this, and they should absolutely be. You know, this isn't the cleanest of jokes, I guess it would be. I don't know. Maybe it's the immature side of me. I kind of laughed that this happened, maybe because I've seen so many of the players also find this funny, so it's almost given me the pass to also laugh at this. I don't think this is necessarily targeted at the women in the WNBA. We've actually seen these erotic devices show up in many sports. I remember this happening in the NFL, you know, obviously a male sport in the past as well. So I don't think this is necessarily personal, but as we always say in pro wrestling, you can't sell it. The second the players are out there tweeting and talking about it and buying into the trend, it is only going to go more viral. There's only going to be more and more copycats. You almost have to pretend like it didn't happen and no sell it in order for this thing to go away. Now that this has become a trend, everybody is going to want to be in on this. This is going to keep happening until something changes, whether that's the league cracking down, maybe it's the players speaking out. But as it sits right now, I think too many people are having fun with this within the organization to have it go away so quickly.
You're absolutely right, Mojo. It's gotten so much attention. It's likely to keep happening. I will say this. The WNBA definitely wants it to stop. The police want it to stop in these arenas. In fact, one of the people who threw one of the sex toys on the court was actually arrested and charged with multiple different offenses, including disorderly conduct and some other charges as well. So they've got a legal problem on their hands now. Before we move on, Mojo, obviously after the game, in addition to the basketball game and all the conversations and questions that had to do with what happened on the actual court, the Sparks won the game 100-91. the head coach of the Sparks, Lynn Roberts, and their star player, Kelsey Plum, were both asked about the incident. Here they are.
I think it's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's sordid. It's stupid. We take it's also dangerous. And, player safety is number one. Respecting the game, all those things. I think it's really stupid. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought, too, we did a great job, India included, just playing on, don't give it any attention. And the refs, I really appreciate them, too. It's just like, hey, let's go.
There it is, Mojo, just like you said. They've just got to stop acknowledging it, and I think that's the only way that this stops happening. Does that happen? I'm not so sure.
Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor.
Coming up next on TMZ Sports, we're talking to the Backstreet Boys. Of course, they were hanging out with Luka Doncic over the weekend after Luka signed that massive extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. So how cool was this? What happened behind the scenes? We'll ask Nick Carter and the rest of the guys next.
Personal card collection. He's so happy to sign it.
Hey, Luca, man, I gotta ask.
Have a great time, man. Enjoy yourself. Is this an expensive one?
It's not, actually.
Have a good time.
Well, yours is always expensive. You mind signing? All right.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, of course. You'll sign them for you, 100%.
Sweet.
What do you want to send?
To Nick, love.
I love you, Nick.
Yes, I love you, Nick.
Love Luca.
Was that? No, it is mine. But I mean, when I go, my son will have it. So.
Mojo, of course, there was Luka Doncic and Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. That was after a Backstreet Boys concert in Las Vegas. Of course, they have been doing their thing. A ton of celebrities have been attending these Backstreet Boys shows. All these years later, they are still a massive deal, Mojo. And, how big of a show was it? We know, we talked about this. He signs this $165 million extension, 3 years, Mojo. And how do they all celebrate? They go to the Backstreet Boys show. Well, we had an opportunity, Mojo, yesterday night to actually speak with not just Nick Carter, but some of his bandmates, Brian and AJ, to be exact. The guys were all on the golf course. And we asked him about meeting Luka, about getting the autograph. It was just a really cool moment. Watch this.
Pretty freaking amazing, to be honest with you. My son was there, and he had a cow.
It was unbelievable. We didn't expect it, but then we heard that he was a fan of us. And I actually went back and saw some interviews, and he was questioning about us, and they were saying who was favorite music, and we were one of them, and we were just shocked. And so he, I guess, wanted to kind of celebrate his extension, by coming and watching us at Sphere, and so we were just honored to have him there.
And Brian, you mentioned your son being there. Then Nick gets an autograph, claims it's for his son. But that's pretty cool for
my son. All my card collections are for our sons, like to be left. So yeah, it was great. It was fun. I actually ran to my local card dealer store, and I'm like, guys, I need a Luka card right now. He's on his way to the show. And they're like, we don't have any. And then one of the guys went out in his car. He's like, I found one in my car. And it was an Obsidian card, and it wasn't but it was just, listen.
Be quiet for just a second. Nick is good at a lot of things like singing and dancing, but he's even a better dad.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, man. That was for your boy.
No, it was for my boy. It was.
The pictures, he's literally dressed like he could have been the sixth member. He literally looked like he was a much taller version of the Backstreet Boys.
Much taller. That's what I was going to say. Just a little taller.
Pretty cool, Mojo.
First of all, Babcock, I got to start this thing out by shouting out our EP, Steve Goldberg, for absolutely grilling them.
I like that.
We know those cards were for them and not their sons. You're not fooling us. I'm
that was really funny.
That was important for this segment. I'm going to say that because that's just how big of super fans they are of Luka. And you know what? I'm actually glad to hear that they were surprised by this. I mean, just one, it shows that they're really humble guys, right? Makes you really like them. But remember,
right? Do they not know they're the Backstreet Boys, Mojo? I mean, gosh.
Well, hold on a second, Babcock. They know that they were a 90s boy band, and they know that big, tough guys might not be caught dead listening to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. So,
Right.
I mean, they might need to tread lightly with assuming that certain people are their fans. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you'd get made fun of if you listened to Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, and then NSYNC removed themselves from that equation because Justin Timberlake went off and started getting all these cool movie roles and all these things, and it became cool to be a fan of his. And of course, our homie Joey Fatone is always having a good time, so that wasn't, you wouldn't get made fun of for supporting those guys. But Backstreet Boys, I don't know if they went that route, so good to see that they're still humble after all this. I do agree. We talked about this already. Luca, all he needed was the white pants, and I think he would have been in officially for the group. He's got the look. I mean, look, that looks like a 90s boy band guy to me. He just needed the white pants. He didn't get that memo. Babcock, this picture we're looking at here, whoever the guy is to the left of him with the hair, that's my goal length. That's what I'm going for right now, in case you were wondering. But either way, back on point. Love this. This was great to hear. And again, not buying that it wasn't for him.
My personal card collection.
Hulk Hogan's memorial service held Tuesday in Florida. One person not at the church was Brooke Hogan. The 37-year-old daughter of the wrestling icon explains her decision when TMZ Sports returns right after this.
No matter how great you get, life throws you curveballs.
TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, it's just a couple days away. We got this big special, The Real Hulk Hogan, airing again Tuesday night, 8 p.m., 7 Central on Fox in prime time. Incredible people that we talked to for this very important special. Obviously, it was just a couple of weeks ago that we broke the story that Hulk Hogan had tragically died, and now we're talking again to everybody from Sylvester Stallone to Vince McMahon, Mick Foley, Goldberg, Jimmy Hart, Mark Henry, and the list just goes on and on and on. And some of those people, Mojo, were in Florida on Tuesday for Hulk's memorial service. You want to talk about Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Dennis Rodman, Ric Flair, Kid Rock, and a bunch of other really big celebrities in attendance to say goodbye to Hulk Hogan. One of the people, Mojo, that notably was not in attendance was Hulk's 37-year-old daughter, Brooke, his only daughter, Brooke. Why? That's the question. Brooke spoke with Harvey Levin a little bit earlier today on TMZ Live, and she explained herself. Take a look.
The only reason my face is on TV right now is because I have had to constantly battle false claims. The first one being Brooke didn't come to her dad's wedding. Why? Oh, well, Brooke is estranged from her dad. Why? And it's like, I always say two things can be true, right? I can love my dad, which is the absolute God's honest truth. I love my father. I love that picture of us. I love my dad. But my dad and I have been through a lot of stuff over the years. If you want to give it a quick Google, anybody can find out the hurt that has happened to me throughout the years. And I've forgiven, and I've always put my dad first. That's my daddy. People know, as a woman, a father-daughter bond is so strong, even more so than a mother-daughter bond, and I love my mom, but my dad and I were very close. We've been through a lot. I've forgiven a lot. I've been by his side through everything. Even if I haven't gotten the whole truth, even if I have been a little bit misled, I have still had his back.
So there it is, Mojo. Obviously, it's a difficult situation. They never got a chance to repair their relationship. Now Hulk's gone, and I know a lot of people have criticized her for not being there yesterday. Whether you like it or not, there's Brooke's reason.
You hate to hear it, Babcock, and we just talked about this again, not because of this interview, but because of the one that she did with Bubba the Love Sponge. Again, that was one that was very perplexing, considering the rift that Hulk and Bubba had that, at least to our knowledge, was never repaired, and why she would go on that show in the first place. this is just a tough situation, right? I mean, Hulk Hogan, an absolute legend, one of the most recognizable sports figures of all time in any sport. I mean, he's got to be on the Mount Rushmore of famous athletes alongside people like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali, you know, pick your fourth. But Hulk Hogan's definitely got to be on it. A guy that took WWE to where it is today. That company never would have become what it is today without Hulk Hogan doing what he did during his heyday, right? So it's the end of an era, personally, professionally, all these things, and you absolutely hate to see it. And when it comes to its end, you want it to end well. I think for Hulk, it ended pretty decently, but you know, with things maybe unresolved with his daughter, you hate to hear anything about it, right? You always hope that any kind of personal issues involving the deceased kind of stay behind closed doors and you don't have these very public interviews which can tilt perceptions a certain way, right? So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Brooke Hogan, she had a relationship with her dad. I love that she's saying how much he loved her, how much she loved him, and how strong their bond was, even if there were ups and downs and fights, which is going to happen with just about any family and any relationship out there. You know, if she decided like it didn't make sense for her to go to the funeral and that her dad would have understood and all these things, that's, you know, that's their issue too, and that's not the worst thing in the world. They have their own bond, but yeah, it's just a really tough situation. You hate to see it. You want things to end well.
Up next, Mike Vrabel bloodied, breaking up a fight at joint practice between his Patriots and the Commanders. Patriots quarterback Drake May with an interesting comparison for his head coach when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, it's been like a decade since Mike Vrabel has played football, but dude, he's still a dog. Of course, he is the New England Patriots head coach now. His Pats squad doing a joint practice today with the Washington Commanders. And Mojo, as you know, when football teams, even if it's your own team, when football teams and players practice, sometimes fights happen. It's not always the head coach that breaks up the fight, but in this situation it was. Mike Vrabel getting in the mix, Mojo, and he somehow, some way got hit, Mojo, and he was bleeding. It looked like he was bleeding from his ear. It was kind of blood all over the place. Well, I'll tell you what, it was not ignored by some of his players, Mojo, including his quarterback, Drake May, who is now comparing his head coach to a guy you might have heard of. He's the President of the United States. Take a look.
Did you happen to see Vrabel bleeding?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, somebody was saying it was like the Trump gunshot wound. So I was laughing at that. But no, I think too, you saw he was breaking down the huddle, and I'm not even sure what happened when it happened. But you know, he said, "Don't worry about it. We'll see it on film." So we'll see something.
You gonna break it down?
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. Obviously talking about the Butler rally. There you go from mid-2024, Mojo. Pretty tough from Vrabel. Obviously he's a tough guy. He was a linebacker, but he still got it. Still got that fight in him.
Babcock, I hope his team has a lot of fun with this and they actually do break this down during film study and analyze how he could have gotten out of the way and all. Like, this is something that you could use for team bonding to break up a really boring film study because you have so many of these at this time of the year. This could be a great experience for the team. But yeah, Vrabel, man, Vrabel was always one of my favorite players when he was doing his thing. Just talk about a guy who was unbelievably versatile on the field, a hard-nosed physical player, which was right up my alley. I was a huge fan of his. So when he got into coaching, I love that because you're talking about a guy that can lead by example, a guy that isn't just telling you things that he thinks is right, things that he knows is right, that were proven on a field for, more than a 10-year career. I mean, this guy did it all, and he can talk from firsthand experience, and you absolutely love to see it. Plus, as a player, especially this time of year, camp is tough. It's hot. You're going head-to-head with some of the biggest freak athletes on the planet. It's hard. And when you have a coach who hasn't done it himself at a high level and been successful, sometimes after a while you don't want to hear that crap, right? Yeah. Especially for the vets that have their job solidified, that aren't worried about being cut. You see Vrabel out there still doing it at this point. You can't say anything. I mean, shoot, taking it to pro wrestling for a second, that was always one thing about Vince McMahon. He would never ask you to do something that he wouldn't do himself. And because of that, you couldn't make excuses. It's the exact same thing here with Vrabel. And again, another example of why I think this guy's great.
Mojo, I think that Mike Vrabel and Dan Campbell are the only two coaches that would do that. And I am hereby calling for a Lions and a Patriots joint practice, but we're just going to have the head coaches fight each other, and we're going to watch. Yes. We are out of time, Mojo. Speaking of football, the guy, he didn't play for the Patriots or the Lions, but he did play for the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick obviously still wants to play football. Mojo has not happened in a couple of years. Something else going on, not in his professional life, but in his personal life. A lot of people talking about his relationship with Nessa. Of course, Nessa is a very famous radio host and a television host as well. A lot of people wondering, asking the question, Mojo, are Nessa and Colin married? And if they are married, when did this happen? There's been some talk that this actually happened some time back. Mojo, we're going to get the answer tomorrow, straight from the horse's mouth. We're going to talk to Nessa. We're going to ask her that very question. We got that and a bunch of other stuff. Basically, bottom line, Mojo, it's going to be a great night.
Tell you what, Babcock, hopefully we're going to talk more about this Vrabel and Dan Campbell tag team, because that is very interesting to me. Either way, folks, we'll see you tomorrow where it will be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.